Hi everyone, Juanita Hastings here with Home Sold Realty, and welcome to the first topic for Real Estate Realty. The first topic of choice is something that hits close to home for me. It is a topic where I actually failed some of my prior customers. So the topic of choice is going to be future and current land use codes for property. And here's what I learned. In 2019, I was still very new to the business. As you heard in my introductory video, I was licensed in 2018, in October of 2018. And I began working with these customers in 2019. Around August, I believe, they closed on this particular piece of property in Putnam County. It was more than a 9-acre parcel. And the current code for that parcel was agricultural. And it allowed for manufactured homes to be put, according to the ag code, it would have allowed for a manufactured home to be placed on the property. But it had a future land use code of commercial. And I did not understand what that meant. What I thought it meant was that if they chose in the future that they could utilize the property as a commercial piece of property. But because it was currently zoned ag, and according to the information that I had pulled up, it stated that a manufactured home would be allowed. That was what I informed my customers of. So recently it's come to my attention that they actually had to go through the process of having that future land use code amended so that it would come into compliance with what they wanted to use the property for, which was to put a manufactured home on it and to live on it as their permanent primary residence for retirement. I actually watched a Board of County Commissioners video yesterday where these particular customers had attended this meeting, and they had to attend multiple in order to get this amendment passed through and approved. I don't even know the monetary cost of everything, but I know that hearing and seeing their reaction on this video to not only the circumstance but to the job that I did was gut-wrenching. And I do not want to be known as that agent. I don't want to be known as a realtor who only cares about the money and then closes and gets and never contacts their customer. I don't want to be known as the agent who doesn't disclose everything that they can, because they're more interested in getting the sale than they are about the customer's ability to use the property. So yesterday I reached out to someone with the county and asked them to explain really how a future land use code can impede someone's intended purpose of a property. And the gentleman explained to me there were a few things. There were a couple of different plans in place for our county. There's a comprehensive plan, and it designates the future land use. And then, of course, there's the zoning ordinances. So the future land use codes, those are looked at by the county, and they're placed on property based on what the county foresees in the next 10 to 15 years. And in this particular case, this parcel had a commercial use for future, and there were a couple of parcels across the road from it that had commercial, and maybe one that was kind of catty corner that was commercial. And then just down the road, there was a small mobile home park, or there is a small mobile home park. But outside of that, the surrounding properties were all agricultural properties. And we've been here since '05, and there's never been any kind of development in this area The only thing that's there is that manufactured home park. So the customers were able to get this amended, but I know that they had to attend at least 2 meetings, and I don't know what all they had to pay for applications or anything like that to go along with it. I don't know if they had to get an attorney, because I actually lost communication with them after we closed, just due to lack of experience, lack of follow-up. I really failed these customers, and I take ownership of that, and I commit myself to do better. I know that I have done much better through the years as I've grown and learned more and more in the business, but this is a very important topic for me because I don't want other customers to endure what these customers did, and I want agents to be aware of how these codes can hinder their sellers and their buyers. As a seller, you want to be aware of these codes because it can absolutely determine whether or not a buyer can use the property. I mean, if there's a buyer that's just going to sit on the property for an investment purposes, maybe they're not going to care. But if the current use and the future use don't align, and they also don't align with the surrounding properties, then someone, whether it's a buyer or a seller, needs to address that issue. And I know that a lot of times the sellers are in a situation where they just are ready to be done with the property and they want to get rid of it. But as a realtor, we need to be looking at that, and we need to make sure that we are explaining everything to both customers, whether they are sellers or buyers, so that they know the best way to move forward. So whenever I talked to the gentleman yesterday from the county, he did explain to me that in most cases, yes, these codes can be changed, but they are going to be contingent upon what the surrounding properties are coded as. So in this case, as I said, most of the surrounding properties were more agricultural properties, and being able to be used for residential purposes. So these customers were able to get this code amended, but we need to be able to research that for the customers. We need to be able to say, okay, yes, these surrounding properties are being used for the same purpose that you want to use this property for. Therefore, the chances are very likely that you can get this amended to the usable code that will suit your purpose. That said, if anybody has any questions, if you have concerns, I do have contacts now. I have someone with the county who is ready, able, and willing to help us as realtors inform the customers of their options, buyers or sellers. He is eager to help the public, and if you need his information, you can contact me. My phone number is 386-937-0170. My email address is juanita@homessoldrealty.com, or you can leave a comment in the section below this video, and I will do my best to get back to you. In the meantime, if you have any other topics that you want to discuss, we are open for that, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a great day.